Hi everyone, welcome to In Out Delete. I'm America.
I'm Robert.
I'm Gino.
I'm Ricardo.
So every week we're gonna be hitting the movie theaters and watching a new movie. So half of our podcast is gonna be kind of rating a new release, such as like Avengers Endgame, and then the second half of the podcast is gonna be where we review an old movie. Our rating system is in, out, delete. Right?
Yeah, our rating system's in, out, delete.
So,
In if you like it, out if you don't really like it, and delete if it's the worst movie of all
Complete.
time.
Out
Trash.
is deserved. No, wait. Delete is deserved to not be in the fucking world ever again.
Alright, so Avengers Endgames is the fourth installment, right? Of the Avengers? Well,
Yeah,
Depends
it's
on how
a-
you look at it.
yeah,
it could
yeah.
be the 22nd installment of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, so it's the fourth Avengers and the 21st?
22nd?
22nd? Damn, 22nd of the Marvel Universe stories or whatever. And, alright, overall, I guess, while I was watching it and everything that came through and, like, other reviews from before and, like, the spoilers and everything, I think this movie was too good. I actually had fun with it. I had everything I wanted, from like sad moments to excitement, and the movie just kept going and going. And I think, hey, I don't know, I wasn't disappointed, and I'm gonna go in on this. What do you think, Gino?
Okay, first of all, I've been watching this Marvel Cinematic Universe for almost 10 years, 11 years at this point.
About 10 years, yeah.
Yeah, 10
11
years, right? 11 years, yeah. So, to be honest, I was that guy that fucking did not like Robert Downey Jr. cast as Iron Man in the first one. I was that guy going, that drug addict, that punk dude, Alec McBeal looking motherfucker. And sure enough, like, I saw the trailer and I loved it. And then when I went to go see it, I was like, amazing. I couldn't wait for more. And then now, from then to now, I've been so invested in these movie series. And I'll admit, I cried, I laughed, I cried, and I bawled.
Have you cried that many times?
Yeah, it's to the point, it's like, at the end of the movie, got to my car, started the car, going to the freeway, and as soon as I got on the freeway, processing what I just saw with these characters that was developed through these years, I fucking started crying. I literally was bawling. I was just like the ending. They ended it so well. The Russo brothers said themselves, it's not over. They just ended a chapter, and which many of us viewers had invested.
How many years?
11.
11 years?
Yeah.
Damn, see?
But 22 films, 11 years. Imagine that. And yeah, I'm in on that all the way.
So, I think I share everybody's opinion so far.
Oh, he's already crying. He's crying. Thinking about it.
Just thinking about the film. Like Gino, I've pretty much been watching this series since it started. I have been critical of a lot of the Marvel films. I feel like some of them could be very bland and kind of not exciting. Because, like, unless they're teaming up, like, for an Avengers film, like, there's really not much drama and suspense. But that being said, I loved Infinity War, and I was really looking forward to this film. And it exceeded my expectations in every way imaginable. I thought it was hilarious. I thought the action was great, and the emotional moments were unbelievable. I was crying. I'm crying right now just thinking about it. I got home, and I just kept thinking about what a unique experience this was, because it's really the first time that we've had a conclusion to a film series that's been going on for over 10 years. I mean, I can't think of any other thing like. So it's very unique, no matter what you think of, like superhero films and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, Ricardo was actually telling me, like, is this kind of like the Star Wars experience that everyone had when the original Star Wars came out? Like, everyone, like, ran to the theaters. Like, everyone's so excited to see it. Like, I don't know. Do you think this is like this generation?
It is, but I think it's even more than that. Because like I said, it's a longer. I can't, Star Wars, yes, it had 3 films in its original series, but that's only 6 years about worth of films, and only 3. And you could technically say it's 9 now, but it's been handed off to other filmmakers, and, the quality has varied a lot. This is the first time where one kind of vision
Saw it all the way through.
been going all the way through. One story thread has continued over 22 films, and I don't think maybe there is another example of that, but it's really, so to capture a moment like this again, I don't know if we'll ever see something like this again.
And I'm blessed that we were able to be alive for this. This is like the generation before us with Star Wars.
Yeah,
the
that's
first
exactly.
2,
Well, it's like in the 80s, right? That's when the other one ended, 3 or something, and I was.
But that's like I said, I think it's more than Star Wars.
For
I think
sure.
it exceeds what Star Wars was.
So many years, so many films too.
Exactly, because Iron Man, if you guys follow comics, Iron Man wasn't even the biggest freaking superhero.
Was that the first one?
He was the first one, basically.
He was the first movie.
Yeah, first movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
because Iron Man was basically a B-rated comic book character.
Yeah.
So that's why people didn't expect Iron Man to be interesting enough. But then Robert Downey Jr. just dominated his own thing.
And it was good.
Ended with "I am Iron Man" in that first
Oh,
one.
isn't it? Well, can we spoil it? We can't spoil it.
I guess we could talk about spoilers.
Okay, well, spoiler alert, ladies and
Spoiler
gentlemen.
alert, we'll be going into spoiler talk.
All right.
Please, if you're listening,
Cover your ears.
cover your ears or just turn this off.
Or watch the
No,
movie and come back to this podcast.
All right. So, isn't it weird that he was the first one, and then he ends it?
Well, that was,
Yeah.
I think, the point of it. It kind
Oh,
of
it
bookended
was?
the
That's
whole
the
whole
thing.
thing?
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
he
man,
also.
that was
I
so
think
cool.
Iron Man also had kind of like set in stone kind of the tone of the movies, because Marvel was really silly, it has a lightheartedness to it that other superhero movies don't have,
and it was
I think
'cause
that
Iron Man, right?
yeah, because Iron Man he was this kind of douchey guy,
But it was funny.
kind of so I think it helped set the tone for all of the coming Marvel movies, because they're all kind of lighthearted. Sure, they have their moments and they're action packed and everything, but they have you laughing
Yeah, and
multiple times.
you know how they try
throughout,
to do that with DC,
Yeah.
and then you know how Dark Knight made all the DC movies try to look dark now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess Iron Man was trying to give everyone this look, right? This humor and
Yeah.
that's why I like those Marvel movies, because
And
they have humor.
And I think it worked, because if you think about it,
Perfect.
if Iron Man 1 hadn't worked as a film,
Yeah.
that would have completely killed the
Yeah,
Marvel,
sure.
the plans of the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
In its tracks.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have had.
One of the best parts of that I liked about the movie is that it went back to old movies, right? It went to the
Yeah.
Guardians
Oh,
of the Galaxy
yes.
universe. It went
So
to all
much.
those times.
And I knew as soon as
It's
they,
just like throwbacks.
as soon as they saw that, I'm like, oh god damn, that's it. This is the end. This is the end.
It
Because
was
as soon
so
as
cool.
what were you gonna say?
It
Robert?
was perfectly able to wrap up all the films
Yeah,
neatly by going
Yeah.
back and
so
to
cool.
kind of
man.
revisit all of them. It was
Revisit.
such a nice way to wrap everything up.
So
I
cool,
thought
so
when
cool.
when they started saying we're gonna go back, I was like, this is gonna get real messy. We're about to see a bunch of plot holes, but I think they kind of actually did it really well.
You're gonna see Tony
um,
Stark's mom trying to hit on Tony Stark, in Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
With
Well,
Marty
that's
McFly.
actually,
Oh, that
what,
was
what
so
they did
funny.
is they
Yeah.
actually made Back to the Future 2 as an Avengers film, because the first half of the movie is basically Back to the Future
Back to
2.
the
Yeah,
When they're
yeah.
trying to go back and not
Yeah, that's
and
what
not
reminded me. of,
like
too.
run into themselves, so they
Yeah.
won't destroy the universe.
Well,
and
Hulk
stuff like
did a
that.
great job
Yeah.
on that. Oh yeah, smash! Boom. He's just not even trying anymore. He's just awkwardly just standing there hitting the cars and
And
throwing
when-
rocks and shit.
When Iron Man is in the back and he sees everything happening, and we can see
Yeah.
the first Avenger happening, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, that reminded me of Back to the Future. too.
Or about the part that Captain America just happens to. I want to mention this about the Captain America scene in general, that timeline. But first, I want to talk about the part where he just happens to get the scepter, he's walking away, and then there's another Captain America hey, fuck you too, and I could go this all day. And his reaction is, I know. I love that part. That part really laughs so hard because it's see how dumb you sound when you see yourself type of thing. Because I remember, I think in Civil War he did that. I could go all day. I was kind of like, bruh, just shut the fuck up right now, dude. Just kick his ass.
Well, it's one of the nice things is you could see how the characters have grown. It's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
completely different the first Avengers and the first Iron Man.
And he has the mask, right? Like he doesn't wear that anymore.
Yeah.
But everybody's contract like died already. Or what?
Well, it ended.
That's the main thing. That's why they ended.
There-
Well,
I mean,
right?
you gotta understand. Like, can you imagine being Captain America for
Oh,
like
yeah.
so long? Like that basically takes up your entire like acting career. Like you can't do much else besides that. So I can understand why they're trying to like leave.
And plus, they're getting older. Like Robert Downey Jr. does not look younger like he did 10 years ago, 11 years ago. Like
He looks like Captain America at the end of Endgame, basically.
Thank you. Yes, exactly. Like, exactly. And
Well, it's kind of cool because he's really skinny, right? And he's like some
And-
point.
and
Dude,
it's
that
like-
freaked me out.
dude, and the trailer didn't look like that. at all.
Actually, I was like, is that real or did it they
Yeah,
skinny
yeah.
him?
No, they skinnied him
Yeah.
because of the trailer.
Oh, can
He
we
looked
talk
like
about
Captain America in the
CGI?
first Avenger, actually.
Oh, dude, that CGI, I had a fucking problem. I couldn't. Like,
What?
when they made Iron Man really skinny at the beginning, that scared me. But not, whatever.
You know what he looked like?
Thor.
Sorry.
Oh,
Did you guys
no.
ever see South Park when they nail Cartman to the cross and they forget about him and they come back like 5 days later he's all skinny? That's what Iron Man
He went
looked
on
like
the
at
South
the
Park
beginning
diet.
of Avengers.
For Jesus
Oh,
Christ
but
diet.
the Thor, right?
Yeah, Thor, dude. They could have
Oh, the
put
fat
on
Thor?
a fat suit on him. Why did they feel like they had to CGI his
Wait, I thought
belly?
it was a fat suit.
No.
I thought it was a fat suit
I
too.
think they
It totally
had
looked
a
like a
fat
fat suit.
No, it was CGI'd. Like his
No.
shirt was even CGI'd. Yeah.
No.
When he's wearing that dirty white thing.
No.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
I don't
Who's
believe
gonna be
you.
the look it
I,
up?
I'm gonna look
Well,
it up right
I-
now.
Well, they made the CGI look like rubber fat suit.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
Why not just put a fat suit on him? Like,
Because
it
it was
just,
a
it
fat
It is a fat suit.
I don't think so. You guys.
Google it.
He looked
That's
like
what I'm doing.
Austin
Sponsored by
Powers,
Google.
Like Fat Bastard. Fat suit.
Dude, I believe that.
Does
I don't
Thor wear a
believe-
fat suit?
The cool part is that like you know how they made a big deal how it's gonna be like 3 hours long, but it was supposed to be that long.
Yeah.
Everything had to be.
It
in
never
there.
felt long.
Yeah.
I was never
No,
like bored
at
or
all.
tired at all.
Exactly. It
Like,
was.
I was so into the story that
Yeah.
it could have been 4 hours. I don't care.
No.
No,
Same.
no. Mm-mm.
Yeah, no.
Please don't say that. No.
But you actually felt it was too long?
Marvel, please make a 4-hour
3
movie.
hours is too long. Just I don't want to be sitting there for
Wait,
3
did
hours.
you feel?
But
Did you feel the length?
that? Yeah, I was getting there. So I know how it's gonna go. Like I know when the action's coming, and I'm just like I can't wait for this to be over. But this movie didn't lose me that much. Like there were moments where it kind of dropped me, but like I was entertained. Like in the next minute or so. Like it didn't lose me. I didn't fall asleep for those 3 hours.
Oh.
Well, I've actually criticized a lot of Marvel films for being too long. Like they're all like 2 hours and 13 minutes. I'm like,
Yeah.
no solo superhero movie should be over 2 hours.
Yeah.
It should be an hour and a
For
half.
sure.
an
No,
hour
I agree.
45. I think pacing is kind of a lost art in film. So
Yeah.
I have criticized like the length of the films, but I think this one,
Was-
I think it was paced well, so it wasn't.
And
I
well
never
needed.
felt bored or I never felt tired. I never moved my seat like uncomfortable. There's-
Yeah.
but I don't know if you guys had this, but towards the end of the film when it gets like really emotional, like it got really quiet, and
yeah.
all you
Yeah.
hear in the theater is like. it was like an
Yeah.
echo. Like
It was a.
it's like, this I think this film is like how fan service should be done. Well,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
It should never get in the way of the story. You should never be thinking about anything but the story. You know what would have been cool? Like if Spider-Man, what's his name? What's the actor's name?
Wait, not Topher Grace.
He's not even.
Toby-
I know, sorry,
Tobey
sorry, that's
Maguire?
Spider-Man 3. Sorry. Tom Holland. Tom Holland.
If he got turned into dust, and then at the end of Endgame when they all kind of come back, if he came back like all triumphant and he took off his mask and it was Tobey Maguire.
Tobey
Ending
Maguire
like that?
with the bang, and he
I would
flips his hair.
clap. I would clap.
Like
Wrong
jazz dancing
universe.
his way to the gauntlet and stuff.
No, we
I
don't.
would
No,
lose my
to be,
mind.
to be honest,
That would have been an ending.
That would lose my mind.
what a twist.
Lose my mind.
Wait, think about it.
Brought them all back. Bring Andrew Garfield too. Might as well
No,
have
no,
three
fuck
Spider-Man.
that guy. Let him just disappear.
Didn't we do that in
No.
Into the Spider-Verse?
That should be the sequel
Yeah.
to
Oh,
the
yeah.
Spider-Verse.
So overall, we're saying in on this.
In.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
we've been there,
yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back
overall
again and watch
thing.
it.
Even as a I was like thinking that I was gonna be like, thank God that like they probably this would have been 2 movies and they made it into one. That way, I only have to spend ticket money once. But no, it was good.
Are you ever gonna watch it again?
No,
I kind of.
just straight up no.
Let me tell you, buddy, there's a faster gun coming over yonder when tomorrow comes.
Okay, so moving on to the second part, where we talk about an old movie or just another movie that's not in theaters. So this week I chose The Ballad of Buster Scruggs on Netflix, and it's a little anthology. Was it 6 stories?
6 stories.
Yeah, 6 stories that take place in like, the Western Front. So anyway, I chose this movie just because, I don't know, I like cowboys and westerns and stuff. So yeah, that's just why.
I thought there was
To
another meaning
approve?
why, but okay.
You're also,
I mean-
it's a nice little break from superhero movies
Yeah,
and Star Wars
we
films.
have too much superheroes going on, so
And you hate those?
yeah.
She had mentioned that multiple times.
What did you guys all think?
I don't know. Basically, I liked it. I mean,
Yeah.
the opening wise, but the stories are so. At first you're like, what the fuck am I watching?
Yeah, that was like the cheesiest one of all
Yes.
of them. Even the song, the way he's dressed, like you wouldn't expect him to be like a
disagree.
sharpshooter.
But
Like I thought it was all a little cheesy.
it's like
but,
it's like Robert says off the air. Like, sorry to interrupt, but like it's a Coen Brothers style comedy.
I did like it. I guess I'm in for it, or I'm here for it, as the young kids say. I think I liked about 3 of the 6 stories.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess half of them I liked.
Same.
I was a little confused in the beginning because I wasn't really into the first story. Like, I'm not into like the whole singing and comedy thing that the Coen Brothers do sometimes. So I was like, is this gonna be like 6 little stories
Musicals.
like that?
Musicals,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm completely checked out. And I saw that the runtime was like 2 hours. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't know, I'm gonna make it through this. But then they started getting more interesting as they went on. So,
Yeah.
Ricardo, what did you think?
I think I was in. And since, like, you know how I don't really like musicals either, but so when it started and they started singing, I was not really in it. But then it got really violent. So I thought it was so funny. Remember, like, he starts killing everybody and, like, the blood comes out. And I think that from that, I was already in. I was like, okay, I'm in.
You just like to see people.
Yeah,
die.
like, it's so cool.
Okay.
It's so cool. The violence is so cool. And I was like, I'm
All
telling
right,
you.
Tarantino.
Ricardo approved violence.
And then you go to the next stories and like you could see the coloring of each story come out, and I thought that was really cool. But the best one for me, my favorite one, was the last one where it's just straight dialogue.
Same.
And it's just like the story and like the dialogue from the Coen brothers.
Coen.
Coen.
The college
The Coen brothers.
Colon.
They have the best dialogue. They have like one of the best dialogues ever all the time. Like, and most of their movies.
It's really detailed and like you have to like
fast. It's so fast.
you kind of have to analyze, and the story kind of unfolds through the
Yeah.
dialogue.
It's
and
so cool.
it almost hits you like you're kind of unsuspecting almost. So, like you think you're just watching people have a normal conversation,
But
but,
it's just like-
they're actually unfolding the story in front of you.
So
Yeah.
dope.
Kind of like a
man.
Tarantino film.
Yeah, and then like I watched it with subtitles so I could read it
Oh,
because
yeah.
these guys
Same.
talk so fast with an accent you kind of understand like half of it. So if you read it, you understand it more. And
That's a good idea. I might
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
I've been doing that, dude.
yeah, I did that
I don't
too.
do that.
I've been doing this since Bruce Lee movies, bro.
If I don't have to read, I'm not gonna find an excuse to read. That's what I'm saying. I think the first one I really enjoyed was the one with Liam Neeson. where
Oh,
he's
yeah,
taking
that
over
was-
as
that
an
was
entertainer.
fucking
I thought that was,
That one
I
freaked
thought that
me
was
out.
hilarious.
So funny, dude.
I-
I
yeah,
want to
That-
know why you guys thought
I
it
don't-
was
That's
funny.
Coen Brothers
I-
comedy at
Yeah.
its best. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
for
guess
sure.
I'm disturbed by
and
it.
dark. It's so dark and so funny.
Yeah.
No, you know what? No, the fuck
Chicken.
to me, you thought
Chicken.
chicken.
He picked the chicken, right? He was
Well,
like-
because that's what's gonna make him money. He only, that's
Yeah.
the sad part is
That's
that
fucked
was his living, was to feed off this guy, the no arms no legs, is acting, and people will pay to see that. But then you can tell like there's times when each town he goes, it's just like less and
worse
less
and
people
worse,
are not
yeah.
showing up,
Yeah.
and that's why like I kind of understood that part when he got drunk, and then he's like, "Fuck it, we're going to town. I'm gonna get laid." The part is like you have him in the room,
She's like,
Can't
do you want any
leave.
action for your friend?
and he
Fucking-
says no.
Just turns him around.
No, that to me was like, bro, like if you're gonna let him sit there and listen to you smash, like at least let him have something too, dick.
Does
Like
he have a dick? He doesn't have a dick, does he?
I'm
think
pretty
it's
sure he
just
did
the
because he
torso.
pissed. He pissed, right? There's
No,
money
he's taking a
peeing.
shit. No.
No, he was peeing.
Well, that
right?
means he has the other side too, right?
You think? It's not like a hole and it's just
I
like,
don't
comes
know,
out.
man.
Yeah, they just
Yeah.
I don't think the Coen Brothers gonna go full detail shot of that. Like
the intro scene is just his genitalia.
They didn't have enough time to get
Scientific,
into
like-
those details. Like, it was like 15 minutes.
I know
Like,
Coen Brothers are all about details, but I don't think that's the detail they want to put out.
Or
Like,
he can't feel. He probably can't feel, you know?
You don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I thought it was gonna go like way darker, and like when he was drunk, he was gonna end up going in the fire, and the guy was gonna just like laugh his ass off or something. I was
Well, that's how
picturing
you
some,
would do it, huh?
Dude, I was picturing some like
That's
really scary
crazy.
shit. This guy was like super drunk around a fire, and I'm like, oh, stay away, fire safety.
But-
No, but and then yeah, no, it ends. He goes to the railroad track, throws a rock over, it, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I just
no.
thought it was
R.I.P.
it was brilliantly quiet,
was-
you know?
yeah.
There wasn't a lot of, there wasn't any exposition really.
Mm.
But
The
you
whole
understood everything that.
Yeah, and the whole film was kind of
Yeah.
like that. It was just, well, like that guy that was finding gold. It was just him by himself, right?
That was one of my
Oh.
least favorite ones.
Oh,
Just
really?
like,
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
mine too. It was
I
mine
like that
too.
one.
I was getting bored. I was
Really,
Getting,
I thought it was kind of cool.
really? No, I
Yeah.
was getting bored, man. I was like,
liked it.
And then like,
Mr. Pocket, I'll go get you, Mr. Pocket.
yeah, and then like it was cool because the colors changed. You know how like everything was like dark. That one was so colorful. It was
Well,
so
that- I think
green.
the-
Yeah, that's,
I think
you
the-
have his hope.
The best thing about this film is the cinematography.
It's so
it
good,
was beautiful.
So good.
Like
Yeah.
the like the vistas all outside, like in the Oregon Trail and all that.
Since America had her little rant about Thor's digital body, did you guys see that digital deer?
Oh,
I did. I did.
Wow.
I did.
I mean, it was fine.
Yeah, it was.
It was a lot
I was
better than Thor's
expecting-
fat suit.
I was
Actually,
waiting.
I was gonna say something and then I didn't because it didn't. It
I was
didn't
waiting
bother
for
me
her.
that much.
It didn't
you know?
bother me at all.
It
No.
bothered
Yeah.
me.
No.
I didn't like the way it turned its head. I didn't like how it sprinted.
I was waiting for it, man. I was watching it and I was like, oh, she's gonna say something. She's
I
gonna
mean,
say
I'm a
something.
city folk, so I don't even know what a deer looks
I'm
like.
kidding,
so-
America. I just wanted to do
Like, I was trying to find a common thread throughout all the stories, and the one that I thought all the main characters died. But if he
Oh.
survived, I guess that kind of.
No, he survived.
Yeah.
He just went through. I'm coming back, Mr. Pocket.
But now I remember he rides off into
Yeah.
the trees.
He didn't ride off. He walks off. The donkey does the
Metaphorically rides off into the trees.
Into the
I was
trees.
so sad when when he sees the shadow when he's in the hole and he found the big chunk of gold and he sees the shadow turns around and gets shot. I was so sad. I was really rooting for him and I thought he
Can I be
died.
honest? I didn't care. I was just like, oh wow, why you, dude? There's your rock. There's your Mr. Pocket. Get it? Get your fucking rock. And then he turns and gets shot. I was like, oh, that's why I got it.
So you were happy that the guy was gonna steal his gold?
Well, actually, I thought that was a great moment, like a cinematography, the way the kind of shadow came
Oh,
in,
yeah.
So
and the way you
dope,
kind of
man.
saw it like twice almost.
Yeah.
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 But-
Yeah, because at first I was like, why is he hesitating? Like,
Yeah.
I saw that too. I saw the
Yeah.
shadow, but I was like, oh, it's probably whatever, insignificant.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be the robber, so.
And then that other story, the Oregon one, where
Oh, that was my favorite.
Oregon.
Yeah, that's my favorite one. Out of
damn,
all
that
of
was
Favorite.
crazy, right? Like
Yeah.
that one, oh, you were right. All the main characters are dying.
them.
Damn.
Except for the Mr. Pocket guy.
Damn,
Pocket made
Pocket
it.
survived.
But to me, the Oregon one was the most Coen Brothers style film. Like, it reminded me like of a No Country for Old Men type of story that they would tell. And that's the Coen Brothers that I love. So I think that's why I responded to that story more than any of the others.
yeah, that one was good.
Yeah.
And it was the longer one, right?
I think it was
Yeah.
one of the longer ones, yeah.
You
I
survived.
think it was the longest.
I kind of wish that was the whole film almost. They
Oh,
could've-
just
Yeah,
the
I
story
think
of
that
that,
could
huh?
be
Yeah.
like an entire feature.
Actually, those kind of
Right?
movies always inspire me because it's like I always want to. You know how it's like 6 stories, 6 shorts. Like
Yeah.
imagine we make a short each
Yeah.
and we all like. put
If
it
we
all
just
together.
take all our like student films and put them into one,
it's just.
it'll be one shitty film.
When the brother was coughing like crazy, I'm like, bro, take some water, bro. Drink some
No
water.
man, he needs NyQuil. It's fucked up because there's no NyQuil.
Need some
back
cough
then.
drinks back
I don't know if NyQuil existed
That
yet.
sucks.
Maybe just some Coke dissolved in water.
people-
you know?
that's
There was
how
no
they live.
Vaporub.
That's how people live.
For white people, it's
Some
vapor rub.
Candle and a Sprite.
Vicks vapor rub.
Back then, the easiest thing would kill you, like a little cough.
Yeah,
he's
that's
dying.
so crazy. He just died the next day.
That's why they were having a conversation at the dinner table. Everyone was fighting
Yeah.
because they were like, "Oh, Mr. So-and-so was
Yeah.
coughing," and the landlord's like, "I don't rent to sick people. Like nobody got sick. He's fine. Like stop. Like because that was their whole
Oh,
fight.
yeah,
remember
yeah.
at the dinner table?
Yeah, I was actually
Yeah.
thrown out by that because I was like, wait, I thought he wasn't sick. Like, what why did he die here? Like,
Yeah,
I was
it's
confused,
just
but
crazy.
then I realized that it was a story about the young woman. This movie kind of flew under the radar, but like,
Dialogue one.
it's easy to like get turned off by it, especially by the first kind of
Yeah,
little
for
vignette
sure.
or what you call it.
But that's really
But
good
like
writing.
once you get to the middle ones, like you realize like, oh, this is actually some great storytelling, some great filmmaking in here,
Exactly.
and which is what the Coen Brothers do all the time.
Do they disappoint? they never disappoint, right?
Yeah. Well, they do sometimes.
The script writing though, like that should have been
Yeah.
nominated for an Oscar.
I mean,
at least.
if you like the Coen Brothers film, I think this will not disappoint you.
Yeah.
It stands right up there with the rest.
Was the next one after the Prospector? The golden one? Was it the Oregon Trail? We were talking about Oregon Trail, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks when she died. I was like, but that fool
She's
fucked up. As soon
Oh,
as
it
he
was heartbreaking.
That part was fucked up. As soon as he's like, when I was jumping after me, I want you to put a bullet in your head right here, don't miss. Or
And
whatever.
she didn't want to take the gun and oh my
So
god,
cool.
no. Why did she leave? She didn't like the dog in the first place.
I
Why
think
the fuck
in-
did she go after
It's because
the
in a
fucking
way,
dog?
like she didn't, but you can tell like she cared for it. By the time like, I'm gonna go let the dog go, and he's like walking away, and she's like nervous, and she covers her ears.
Yeah.
And then to hear, you didn't see the relief she had when he's like, oh well, the dog ran away, so I didn't get to kill it.
Yeah.
You know, in a way, because it reminds her of her brother. It's her brother's
Yeah.
dog. Like it's like John Wick. You know, he.
She kind of didn't like her brother
This
either,
guy with
though.
John Wick, man.
She didn't like her brother. Before we start recording, I'm gonna say Keanu Reeves is my favorite worst actor, but we'll get to that later. We'll get
Well,
to
it's,
that later.
it's like Gino said, like she's, her brother dies, the dog goes away, she's all alone now.
Yeah, it's
You
like
know.
Yeah.
So the
something
dog
to
kind of
relate.
reminds her.
Thank you.
It's her safety
That's all I was trying to
blanket, I
say.
guess,
That's
but
his last. That's the only thing she had of him, of his
why?
brother.
Dude, you die of anything, her brother died
Coughs
from a fucking
is
cough.
one.
Why are you going after the dog? Like, she strayed real far from everyone else, She was about to get married. And, like, that guy
Well,
wanted them
to
get
a
married.
guy that she barely met, like she barely knew.
But there
He
was
was
a
helping
connection
her
because he
out.
was
Yeah,
taking.
there
Yeah,
was.
he really
He
cared about
wanted
her.
to find compassion in her or some shit. What
burying
did he
their
say?
brother with $400 in his coat.
I actually don't think he had it. He was lying. Right?
I think he was lying. I don't think he had money. That's all. I was
Yeah,
like,
no.
I wouldn't risk my ass going back half a day to look for it.
Did you guys try to read the little? Like,
Yeah, I
did,
paused it.
I
I
was like,
paused it. I'm like,
Yeah.
I should have done that, but no.
And even
I
like
just
if you
thought
would read the last
beginning one.
sentence, it was a nice little like.
I think it was
yeah.
the
I
title, because that one, the Oregon one, he was like, and he didn't know what to
Yeah.
tell Billy. Because that's what
yes.
it was called. Because Billy's the guy she was going to get married to. And he was like actually in love with her, I think.
Yeah,
You
that's
know?
why it's so heartbreaking.
Yeah, it made
They
me
just
sad.
met. They didn't make
Gino,
it.
this is the
Gino,
time where you marry
yeah.
so that somebody can pay that man
Oh,
for
You
Like,
unromantic
come on.
bastard.
He was willing to pay off that guy for
I'm
her.
sorry.
Come
I'm
on.
a realistic guy. Like, I don't.
And
I've never.
love happens like that really fast.
Yeah, Gino.
So Robert, I look into your eyes. I'm like, I love you, man. Just
Hey,
kidding.
good.
Like, I'm gonna pay off
You
for
never know.
$400.
All right, but.
So the last story, I think that was my least favorite almost. I
think
like
that
the
one-
look
Yeah.
of it. I thought it was very
Yeah,
beautiful.
the sunset.
Yeah.
You guys notice how that
Yeah.
transition from
No,
sunset?
it was it's the best. To me, I think it was the best looking one. But
Yeah.
You
I
didn't really
just-
like that one?
I guess coming off like because it came directly after the Oregon Trail,
Oh yeah.
and I was just so satisfied with that. I was like, oh no, I gotta. It's like if you go to a concert and you watch the headliner, and it's like, hey, we're gonna bring out this guy playing a guitar now. Like, fuck, you want to see that?
Acoustic
They should have
guitar.
put that one before the Oregon Trail. So you
And that's
could-
how it should have
Yeah,
ended.
yeah. Coen Brothers.
Nah,
We
well, I
edit
think
this.
it ended cool, right? Or didn't you like that one?
I like that one. I liked it just because visually, I'm not gonna lie. I bet it's digital the way they filmed it. Like they're like there's a sunset and then slowly the sun
Yeah.
turns to dark. I like that a lot. And it was an interesting story. It was like one of those like
Just talking, bro. It's
like
fun.
3 random people happen to talk to each other and then they'll tell their stories of like their shit and then one has an opinion of another type
Yeah,
of thing.
it's so funny, man.
Got real tense in there.
Yeah,
Oh,
reminded me of like
yeah.
a Clue. Like, they don't
Yeah.
know. Like,
Yeah. Like that.
And like there was no gunfire or anything. It was
No,
just
it was
yeah.
just all dialogue and
And-
like visuals basically. There's nothing crazy like gunshots or anything.
Hey, that's what I thought though.
Check
It
out
was
the
like
third,
death, right? That's like
Yeah.
part of
It's
it.
like death because
Yeah.
when the two guys were like, "Oh yeah, we can say we're reapers," I'm like, "They're dead." it's death, and this is like his minion and shit.
Oh, and then the guy is just like, he's like, what does he say? He says that he just stares or something, or he sees you or something.
Oh,
He's staring
yeah.
directly into the camera. I was like, oh.
So
that's
dope.
why I like
Stop
that.
it.
So
Yeah,
dope.
to be honest, I think if I were to go back and watch it, this might be my favorite one. You know, not like,
Yeah,
looking
I
back
What
at
up?
it. Yeah.
Bandwagon.
But just no, because like really, like I was just coming off the high of the other one. That was like,
Okay.
I had to recalibrate my brain. And I just
But
didn't.
that's why it's
Yeah.
cool because you're
Yeah.
up, and then this one just goes and like gives you this flow of like a brand new story that
And looking back, I think it is the perfect ending.
yeah,
Kinda like
it's
the
so
death, because
so perfect.
the whole film is about like death.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
characters, you know, to kind of bring it up, wrap it up nicely. All right, I'm
Well, you-
wrong.
You-
Gio will be here next week, guys. I won't be.
Oh,
Guys, you're
Gio.
wrong. No, I do think it like I could watch it a second time and also like get more out of it.
I
Yeah,
appreciate that there are still films like this out there. You know, you can
Oh, yeah,
find
for
them.
sure.
And
And on Netflix.
But it has to
wasn't
be
even-
them.
yeah,
Like
so that's-
it's them though. Like they're like legends already. You know, like let's see if new people
true,
could come up.
but like
and
it's
shit
harder
like
and
that.
harder for like these filmmakers to put their stories out.
Oh yeah.
Because
that's
all
true.
you get is the big superhero type of films.
all the time. Yeah.
So it's nice that they have an avenue where they could still make these films. You know, hopefully we get more, and hopefully more people watch.
I
it.
agree.
Yeah,
I
for
agree.
sure,
We get more of
for
that
sure.
too.
Overall, so we all have in.
I'm in.
We're all in on this.
In
one.
and actually, I kind of like my opinion of it has grown while we're talking.
talking
Like,
about it.
I actually kind of love it now.
I guess I'm
Yeah.
in. All right, I'm in.
You're in. You weren't in. At
Well,
first?
because like I was half. I'm like half the storylines I'm in, and half I'm just like, I don't give a fuck.
Oh really?
But I'm in. Fuck it. I'm in.
You're in?
It still counts.
Watch it.
So guys, are you guys in? We're all in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're all
we're all
in.
in.
We're all in. Okay, sounds like good, guys. Well, so till next time, we'll review the Robert.
We're gonna be reviewing a new film and also my pick for the older film, which is All the President's Men. So if you want to play along with us, you can watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
When that one come out? That was a while back.
It's in the 19s, from the 70s.
It's an old film.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We just said that.
it's an actual film.
Oh,
Like,
it's
they
an
shot it
actual
on
old film.
Wow, film on film.
From the 70s.
So thank you guys.
Thank you guys. Good night.